gentlemen, let's move on to a tale of deceit that has an entire nation asking, what is it that prompts a newlywed woman to plot a murder that would turn her into a widow just 12 days after her marriage? Meghalaya's Honeymoon Horror is a gruesome crime thriller for some, where love and lies cross paths with blood and betrayal. Here are the details of the murder Sonam wrote and scripted.
"24-year-old Sonam Raghuvanshi, who scripted the cold-blooded murder of her husband Raja Raghuvanshi while on their honeymoon in Meghalaya. On May 11th, Sonam got married to Raja in Indore. Just 5 days later, the plot to get rid of him was in the works. On May 16th, Sonam had a conversation with a lover, Raj Kushwaha, who worked as an accountant at the plywood business unit owned by Sonam's family. Sonam called herself a widow even before her husband's death. She told her lover Raj Kushwaha, "I'll marry you as a widow. Let's get rid of my husband Raja. We will pretend it was a robbery. If I become a widow, Dad will agree. Father will get me married to you."
मेरे भाई ने सोनम रघुवंशी के साथ 7 फेरों के साथ 7 जन्म का वादा किया था और आज वो 7 दिन नहीं रह पाई उसके साथ। ऐसा क्या किया था मेरे भाई ने जो उसको मार डाला? अगर तेरे को नहीं पसंद था मेरा भाई, कोई और पसंद था तो भाग जाती, मारा क्यों उसको?
मेरी मम्मी को देख रहे हो, उनकी कितनी हालत बुरी। भैया के बाद बस मम्मी है, हमारे भैया को कैसे भी छुटवा दो। कल वैसे कभी नहीं कर सकता, मैं आपको बार बार बता रही हूँ कि हमने उसको बचपन से जानते, वैसे कभी नहीं कर सकता।
The plot was in place. The execution happened in Meghalaya, where the newly wedded couple went on May 21st. Just before the murder, Sonam spoke to her mother-in-law. Sonam talks about food, fasting, climbing mountains, acting calm and absolutely normal.
हेलो हेलो, हाँ मैं राजा का फोन चल नहीं हुआ अभी नहीं हुआ, बस अब हम चढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, हम ऊपर चढ़ गए फिर फोन लगाते हैं। और आज तो उपवास होगा फिर? मेरा तो उपवास है ना, मेरे को 2-3 बार बोल दिया। हाँ? मैंने मैं घूमने के चक्कर में अपनी 11 थोड़ी तोड़ूंगी। वही तो तेरी, मैं अभी फरियाद बना रही थी तो मेरे को एकदम से याद आ गई, मैंने आज तो मेरे बहू का उपवास है वापस। हाँ।
Sonam hired contract killers to do the job. The original plan was to throw Raja off a cliff and make it look like an accident. But Raja fought back, only to be struck with a machete. And when he still didn't go down, Sonam screamed, "Kill him." She even helped push Raja into the gorge.
कानून से मैं यही चाहती कि देखो मेरा तो बेटा चला गया और किसी का बेटा नहीं जाए, ऐसी लड़की सातिर पैदा हुए कि जो बच्चे को मरवा दे, तो ऐसी बच्ची को जीने का कोई हक नहीं, बस मैं यही चाहती हूँ।
अब दुख तो है, मिल भी गई है तो अभी हमको तो दुख ही, छोरा चला गया। जब ये उल्टे इल्जाम लगा रहे हैं तो, और अब जो है वो तो जितना दुख घूमने का नहीं था उतना दुख ये उल्टा सीधा का होएगा हमको। तो अब जो भी है वो सामना हमको ही करना है, इसमें भी उसमें भी, हम क्या कर सकते।
If that wasn't thrilling enough, here's a Supari angle. Sonam promised to pay the killers rupees 20 lakh and handed them rupees 15,000 as advance. This money came from Raja's own purse. That's not it. After the calculated and chilling murder came the cover-up bid. Sonam was online using Raja's social media account at 2:14 a.m. after the murder, posting "Saath janmon ka saath hai." The digital footprints helped cops nail the Black Widow. Bureau Report, Times Now.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate with me, Deepika Bhardwaj, documentary filmmaker. Also joining me, Dr. Vikram Singh, former IPS, Rizwan Siddiqui, lawyer, Yogita Bhayana, social activist. But first, let me go across to Vipin Raghuvanshi, brother of the deceased Raja Raghuvanshi. Vipin ji, आप इस पूरे मामले में सोनम के बारे में क्या जानते हैं और कुछ भी इस वारदात के बारे में जो आप जानते हो जरूर हमसे साझा करें।
देखिए, राजा रघुवंशी के साथ जो घटना हुई है, इस घटना में मुख्य आरोपी जो है, जो सोनम है, जिसका मास्टरमाइंड जो लगा हुआ है, जो कि आप सभी लोगों को पता है इस बारे में। इसने जैसे कि जो एक हादसा दिखाना चाह रही थी, वो उस हादसे के लिए जो इसने 3 लोगों को बुलाया गया था, क्रिमिनल को, जो कहते हैं ना, इस प्रकार से जो हादसा दिखाना था उसको हादसा दिखाते हुए हादसा दिखाने गई थी वो मारने के हिसाब से। बाकी राजा इन पर थोड़ा हेवी पड़ गया था। हेवी पड़ने के कारण जो है ये मार नहीं पाया उसको। मारने का पीछे से भी गले पे एक चाकू मारता उसको, जो कि चाकू ना लगते हुए या चाकू लगा गले पे था, लगने के बाद भी राजा इनसे जो है डटा रहा। डटा रहने के बाद भी पीछे सोनम चिल्लाती है, मार डालो उसको, तो पीछे से इसके सिर पे तलवार धार से वार किया जाता है। इस प्रकार राजा नीचे गिर चुका होता है। उसके खून के छींटे जो है, उसके खून के छींटे सोनम के कपड़े भी गिरते हैं और जॉकेट भी गिरते हैं। सोनम कपड़े उतार के वाले फेंकती वहाँ पे है। फिर ये लोग जो है चारों जने वहाँ से निकल जाते हैं।
आप जो बता रहे हैं, शॉकिंग डिटेल्स। दीपिका भारद्वाज, I want to really ask you, Deepika Bharadwaj, the fact in this is we've heard in recent times several such incidents where women have been seen to murder their husbands. Either they are forcibly married or it is a diabolical plan. In this case, the Black Widow, she wanted to become a widow. She had a plan to become a widow. She wanted her newly wedded husband to have a lot of jewelry, to have a lot of money, so that money itself could be used for his own murder. What kind of a mindset does this show? And what are we reading in terms of a society where some women are wanting to marry other men, but getting married to some men and then killing them, looking at a second marriage, possibly having more societal or parental approval than the relationship that they are in?
Navika, we have been looking at media reports where husband murders are reported for the last several years. Unfortunately, there are no national statistics on this. Spousal murder as a whole, whether it's husband killing wife or wife killing husband, we don't have any statistics. But we have been documenting these cases. In 2023, we documented one such husband murder every single day in India. And in 95% of those cases, the reason is extramarital affair. Adultery is leading to extremely violent crimes in India, whether that's, a case like this where she got married, with a premeditated thought that she will have to murder him, or it's a case like Muskan where there was a baby also, there was a long marriage also, it was a love marriage, and then she murdered him, then chopped him into pieces and then went on to have a party. These are very, very wicked crimes that we are seeing right now. I really don't know what's happening, but these cases are happening every single day, Navika. And
shocking,
to
absolutely
this point,
shocking. And Dr. Vikram Singh, I want to ask you, first planning this whole thing, orchestrating it, taking the money from the husband, talking to the mother-in-law and pretending I'm fasting and making everything sound so normal, taking the social media account of her husband, posting things even after he's been killed, giving the final push. Is this common? Have you seen this earlier, or is this something to do with the day and age that we are living in where, such cases are coming forward?
Navika ji, the way society is changing, it's changing so fast. What worked yesterday is not working today at all. There is merit in what Deepika ji had said, that yes, it was the rarest of the rare cases. But look what we have seen in the last 6 months. Saurabh in Meerut, Praveen in Haryana, retired DGP Om Prakash, Satyapal, Sachin, Ramesh and Bhavik, I could go on and on. But this was the rarest. Maybe in once in 10 years, I would see such a case that happened. And that was, of course, a part of a memory files. Say in 36 years of my career, I may have seen such 4 or 5 cases. But now the manner in which these cases are coming up, there are 3 indications that yes, the wiring of the mind and the criminality that is imposed, that I want to have my share of happiness. And this is not a murder out of love or a marriage. It is just out of lust. And the manner in which the mind has been programmed through OTTs, pornography, and other such crime hedonistic material that is injected into our minds. These are youngsters. They probably did not have the opportunity of getting the wiring in the right manner, in the right direction. But what we are seeing today, the manner in which the murder was planned, executed, the reconnaissance done, and the homework done, the preparation, that speaks volumes about the criminality and the mindset, not only of Sonam, but the hard killers and the Supari killers as well. All youngsters. But yes, they did not have any remorse and they did not have a second thought. Perhaps 20 lakhs by way of the killing money and also the 15,000 paid in advance was sufficient for them to swear. Navika and all the esteem, I ask you a question. Just try and hitting somebody. I'm sure your hand will not go and touch the other person. You will be obstructed.
For a normal person, it won't. But here, and I'm looking at these cases, Yogita Bhayana, as cases coming from, let's say, small towns. Not looking at commenting on anything else. But in small towns where simplicity, where, and a normal life where the exposure one would expect is limited, these cases being reported from small towns, is this making any sense? In the cold-blooded manner in which this whole wedding is first thought of, and while the wedding is going on, the girl goes on shopping, going with the mother-in-law, not once complaining about the wedding, but then saying that, if I became a widow, that's when the love of my life would be acceptable to my family, and going ahead and going through this gruesome murder where she has contract killers. She's paying them through the money of the husband itself. But then actually giving the last shove, it requires a different kind of a mindset. What is this going on?
So, Navika, thankfully, first sensible discussion on this issue since last 2 days. You asked me to decode the reason. And the reason, definitely, you rightly said small towns. Why? Let's decode it one by one. Suppression. In urban cities, when we rebel or we object to something like that, it is like norm. It's a bit normal nowadays to kind of rebel in the cities. It is still not accepted largely, but in small towns, suppression level is so high. Even if this girl would have given hints, she knew her offer of marrying this Raj Kushwaha will be rejected. She did not have guts to come up and say that she wants to marry this guy, but she had guts to do a cold murder. So what is it like the suppression is doing to our women and our
contradictory? Isn't that contradictory that you don't have the guts to tell your parents you want to marry a particular person, but you have the guts to kill a person in cold blood, and after that also come out, be absconding, use his social media? Well, Rizwan Siddiqui, what next for Sonam?
What next for Sonam? Now, see, I'll tell you what, I have been going through last few debates which have been shown on various television channels. I have a little different take to this entire thing. What I am seeing is that this is a clear-cut case of trial by media. We have already written off the lady as if she is the murderer and that she has been convicted. I have a little different take for a simple reason that when we go to the courts, and when we adduce evidence, and if the courts decide on the basis of the evidence adduced, on the basis of the evidence produced before the court, what if there are chances that the same lady whom we have written off in this trial by media...
Are we clutching at straws, Dr. Vikram Singh? Are we clutching at straws?
We are absolutely clutching at straws. There's something known as prima facie case, and the prima facie evidence is so convincing, incontrovertible. I do hope that the honorable lawyer is right, but that will happen 5 years from hence. There are lessons to be drawn, and important lessons to be drawn from your show, from you, Navika, that the youth has to be sensitized as to the slow poisoning that the society is suffering from today. And therefore, to say that we are brushing everything underneath the carpet and throwing the baby away with the bathwater, that is just not wrong. That is a wrong and erroneous conclusion.
I don't know. This is not just a lawyer's case. As I look at this case, gruesome, cold planning and the manner in which this is conducted. I'm not prejudging the case at all. I'm just looking, is this a trend? Because as analysts of the society, we need to look at these trends. We've seen some of these cases come up in recent time. This one, more gruesome than the ones we've seen before them. In all of them, one particular trend showing. Is this something that needs to be addressed by the society, apart from being addressed by legal luminaries as well as the police? I don't know. We need to wake up. We need to look at this trend. We need to address these issues. We leave it at that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on the News Hour tonight. With that, it's a wrap. Good night. Thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight. I'll be back tomorrow with the News Hour at 9.